Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Mrs. Goody's Grand National Series. Coming at you live this week from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We're racing the Oval and the Xfinity cars this week. Qualifying is just wrapping up. Before we get to that, though, I want to give a shout out to all our sponsors: the Mrs. Goodies, C2 Freight, Blue Egg Marketing, and Powerhouse Recycling. And a shout out to Chad for putting the league on. Little bit of we got Jake Adams with us tonight. Jacob Adams, Nick Massey in the booth as always. Ryan Gavel, our producer. Nick, what are you seeing for qualifying? What do you think out there?
Yeah, good to be back out in the booth with you guys. Good to have Jake back up here. Looking forward to seeing him more regularly up here. But yeah, so far we got Presley Sora on the pole. Qualifying wraps up and we're gridding here. But yeah, he's one of the guys that crosses over from our elite IndyCar series, doing a couple of races here in the Xfinity series, and looks like he's off to a pretty good start there, beating the field by just over a tenth of a second. So pretty impressive over there from the '98 machine. But then you got a couple of other regulars up there. Tyler Fode starting third, Tate Lytle fifth or fourth. Sorry, Scott Crump fifth, Josh Adams sixth. A couple familiar faces, So I don't know what do you guys expect tonight?
Well, I expect to see a lot of green flag running. I don't think we'll get a lot of yellows. I think we'll see a lot of tire management. There's going to be guys that fall off. I don't see RC Enerson. I does not appear that he's going to be out here tonight. So that's kind of a big story there. He's coming into tonight. He has the point lead by 1 point over Tyler Fode, and David Tooker, Josh Adams, Ethan Burrell round out the top 5 in points. All those guys are separated by just 29 points, so that's going to tighten up tonight with RC missing this event. What do you expect to see tonight, Jake? I know I cut you off there a little bit when Nick asked.
Oh no, you're good. I'm expecting to see just kind of like you said. I think we should see a lot of green flag racing here. Indianapolis isn't a place where there's going to be a ton of side-by-side racing, but momentum is going to be a big factor up the turns 2 and 4 down the long straightaways. So you want to keep your momentum up tonight.
And don't put that voodoo on us, Jake. Saying there's not going to be a lot of yellows.
And I do know that they are a little bit loose off of 2 and 4. I'm very excited for this event, though. It's the Oval. We haven't seen too much of the Oval the last couple of years since we went to the road course. This is one of my favorite tracks on the sim. This is one of the rare times where I would rather be driving than sitting here, but we'll get to see a good show tonight, I think. A good tire strategy race. They got 3 sets of tires in the pits tonight for 74 laps. Pit window is going to probably be about 30, 35 laps. We got about a half a lap before we go green here. Who you got tonight to win, Nick and Jake?
I don't know. We'll let Jake pick first. I think I don't know if I picked first last week, but we'll change it up a little bit.
Let's see. I'm going to go with the guy that we talked to last week at the end of the race. Just rooting along with the North Carolina basketball team. So let's go with the 6 of Zach Evans. We'll see him at the end.
I think I'm gonna go with oh man, I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with a 5 of Scott Crump. I think he's due for a good run. Had a couple of run-ins with the 19 of Tooker. I don't know, is Tooker in the race tonight? We'll see if that carries over from last week. Saw a lot of contact between those two, but.
Alrighty, I will take Tyler Fode as we are coming down to get the green. The leader is gone. Green is out. A good start. Not as good as what we've seen in the past here. The past few weeks, we've seen the leader get big jumps. We will see if anyone can beat the guy coming over from IndyCar. Through 1 and 2. Quickly getting single filed out here. He might not have got a great start, but he really gapped the field through 1 and 2 there. Cars fan out down the backstretch.
Just to clear up one thing here shortly, David Tooker is not participating in this race. He's got a series regular Brent Jones driving the 19 today.
Wow, I missed that. That's a good point there. So our first and second place points guys are not in this event. So the points will change tonight, possibly pretty drastically. It's everyone kind of getting single file. We've got Chad on the outside of the 12. Vincent Isabella, I believe, is the first side-by-side battle. Chad's going to get a big run down the straight, but Vincent's going to get some help. A little bit of bump draft here. Straightaways are pretty long here, so bump draft, you can get away with it pretty easily here in Indianapolis. As both of you guys know, though, in the booth here with me tonight, side-by-side is not something you want to be here at Indianapolis. You're burning your tires up, you're losing grip every corner, and then that guy on the inside, Indianapolis is very easy to overdrive, turn 1 and 3.
And like we're seeing now, how we have this single file line, like you say, if you get caught up on the outside line, you're chewing up your tires, and then you lose one spot, and you look in the mirror, and you've got 3 or 4 more spots that you might lose if you can't get back down to that white line.
Yeah, with how important track position is here, how aggressive would you guys be in saving your tires? You know, do you want to give up a couple spots and bank on getting them back later, or you kind of want to try to maintain and, you know, maybe push a little harder than you want?
What I found about this place here and the way you take care of your stuff is you can carry good pace and not burn your stuff up, just kind of easy on the throttle. As long as you're not lighting the rear tires and sliding off the corner, you can make lap time here, so you really shouldn't have to give up any spots to save tire.
Yeah, I was looking right there at the wheel of Daniel Martinez coming out of 4. You see that thing turn to the right, so it just shows how loose these guys are coming off these corners here.
Yeah, if you're turning to the right on lap 4, you're probably not doing a good job saving your tires, especially the rears. Which is a big deal, because if you lose rears here, exiting turn 2 and turn 4 here, and not having good rear grip, burning the rears off the car, especially the right rear, it would be like leaving Martinsville with 100 lap old tires. You know, it just not able to get back to the throttle whatsoever. Looking here at Thornquist trying to chase down the leader. Got Tate Lytle in 3rd. I believe that 3rd place just changed hands as well, because my scoring says the last lap that Fody was in P3. Thornquist is one of those sneaky guys that has a lot of speed. He just gets in some trouble some weeks, and we'll see if tonight maybe he can put the whole race together.
And we saw him go to victory last week at Twin Ring Motegi in the Cup Series, the Elite Cup Series, so looking to carry that momentum into tonight.
Did you run that race, Nick? I believe you ran that race, correct?
I did. He got by me on one of those late race restarts with all the yellows. I slipped up a little bit, and he got underneath me, and I wasn't able to get him back with all the restarts. So,
what's your take on racing that place? How did it drive, and would you like to see it continue to be part of the schedule?
You know, I don't know. I wasn't a fan firing off, but it got pretty racy later on once people started to figure out the car, and I think the track picked up a little grip and stuff like that. But definitely a one-lane track for sure. Especially the 2 corners were completely different. I mean, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I mean, you had to slow down a lot for 3 and 4. Kind of reminded me of Darlington, like how you approach the 2 corners.
Weeks just about makes contact with Vincent Isabella. Sorry to cut you off there. Got a little tight there on the exit of 4 or exit of 2, and now we got Rucker pushing on Weeks.
That's Matthew Weeks looking to get 10th place from Vincent Isabella, up now 4 spots from his 14th place starting position, moving into 10th past the 12th car.
Ooh,
Andrew
like
Rucker tried to come along.
Yeah. That is a wreck a lot of times. I think Rucker cut him a break there. I mean, we've seen some contact getting down into turn 2 and 4 at this place. Guys trying to get in there underneath another guy.
We're watching this little battle here with Weeks and Vincent and Andrew Rucker. Last week's winner, Vincent Isabella. Give him a shout out running 11th. Kind of upset winner last week.
Rutgers got the run here now on Vincent.
We've seen, it looks like Vincent's struggling with that rear grip you're talking about, and he does the smart thing and gives up the spot.
Yeah, and Rutgers been on a pretty decent charge forward here too. It started 18th and now up to just passing for the 11th position there. So up 7 spots, and at a track that's not the easiest to pass on, I think that's pretty good, being 8 laps in.
Yeah, you definitely want to be moving forward instead of moving backwards.
Trying to see the last time we came here in the Elite Xfinity Car Series, and looks like the last time we were here was the first half of 2020. It's been almost 2 years.
Yeah, and like I said, this is one of my favorite tracks to run. I love racing around this place. What is your guys' take on racing Indianapolis?
I've never been a big fan of this place. I've never really gotten a grip on how to be fast here. I know Chris, you're one of the better people I've raced with at Indianapolis. You've got the grip on it, so follow your lead around here.
Yeah, I kind of always thought of Indy as like a place where, kind of like a Martinsville or a track like that, where once you get like the technique down, and if you're good there, you're gonna be good there. It doesn't matter the car. Once you get technique down, it's hard to mess that up.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned the technique and everything, but I feel like these corners here, you wouldn't think it, and some people, watching the broadcast right now, they might chuckle, but you got to drive these corners, especially turns 2 and 4, a lot like you would in Martinsville. You want to make sure you're lifted. You don't want to use a lot of brake around here. You just kind of lift and cruise down into turn 2 and down into turn 4, and get back to the throttle without lighting the rears up, and you'll save your tires and you'll be really good here in the long run.
We're seeing the last couple laps, Chad Thornquist has been chipping into Presley Sora's lead just a little bit here and there.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to hit on there. I believe we're about ready to have a race for the lead.
Another thing that always surprised me whenever we come to Indy is just the tire fall off. We're 10 laps in and we're already over a second off. What these guys put down in qualifying in the first laps of these race. So that's one thing that always never seems to not surprise me is the just the amount of fall off here. You wouldn't really think of Indy as like a track with a massive amount of fall off, but
and we've got Chad coming to pit road. Chris, what do we have the fuel window here? Is he trying to make a fuel play on these guys?
Well, I mean, the pit window just opened in the last 3 laps to be able to make it on 2 more stops, but with Nick, like Nick said, I was just about ready to say, you won't see these guys pit at the front end of a run, because if they run 5 laps and get a yellow, he's going to be, for lack of a better term, up shit's creek without a paddle. The tire fall off here is not like in real life. They bring a little bit of a harder tire. The track's has gotten some sealer put down and some different things done to it. So tire wear in real life is not a major factor here, or it wasn't the last time the stock cars ran here in 2020. But on the sim, it's kind of worn out asphalt. Our tire's a little softer. I don't think that this is going to benefit him like he thinks it would. I think he's kind of overthought this strategy like he would like you would see in an actual Brickyard 400 around here.
And the way I see it, I don't like the strategy. I don't like doing it from second place. Like you said, if we run a few laps and we get a yellow, and he's out there running, say, 5 or 6 laps on those tires, he's gonna probably have to come in and put on another set, and his track position's gonna be killed. I mean, if you're running outside the top 10, then yeah, go for it. But I just don't like potentially throwing your race away in the first 10 laps. You got 70 laps to go still.
And I would be more on board with this strategy if he pitted in 5 or 6 more laps, where you could maybe break it down into 30 laps. Okay, I can see that. you run 15, between 15 and 20, and then you do 2 30-lap runs. He's banking on it going green, obviously. So if you pit on that 15 or 20, then 2 30-lap runs, you're probably not going to be terrible on the back end of those runs. But he's going to have to run 2. I mean, we pitted on lap 10, so what is that, about 32, 30? He's going to have to run 2 full fuel runs from here. I just feel like you're putting yourself in a box that you didn't have to. Like, he was already second. He was the fastest car on the track. He was catching the lead over here, getting ready to see a battle for the lead, and he put himself in a box that he did not need to put himself in.
I think we're still about to see a battle for the lead. It seems like Presley's worn the rear tires off of his car. He can't really get to the white line as early as he would like to, and Tate Lytle's about to be right on his bumper. It's about 1/10 and a half, almost 2/10 quicker than the 98 last lap.
Now, I will say one thing that could help Chad here. What would really play into Chad Thornquist's hand is if all these guys went the full fuel run the first time. If all these guys run 30 to 35 laps, so if these guys run another 15 laps, and they all pit at the very end of a fuel run, he's going to have a huge lead. He's going to give it back, obviously, but that would really benefit his strategy if all these guys run as far as they can.
Another thing, while we were checking out the strategy from Thornquist, the other Chad, Frankenfield, moved into the top 5.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a 3-way battle for the lead right here. I think 40 Tyler Fody and the 2 with Tate Lytle have been eating up Presley by a couple tenths a lap.
Oh, we got one in the grass over here. Boom, Chad Thornquist strategy just died over here. The 14. We got Hunter Smith here. I am not sure what happened to that car. It just went left. He hits the inside wall. He's going to come back and hit the outside wall. Get clobbered by the 77 and the 44. Or the 70, not the 77. My bad on that call out there.
That almost has the look of a part failure on his end, maybe a black screen. Something looks like he had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, because that car didn't really step out or anything. He just kind of kept turning left out of the corner.
And now Chad Thornquist is
unfortunate for 44 Goodman and all these other guys that piled into that. Nowhere for them really to go.
Yeah, there's some guys on the radio that are obviously upset about that, but it seems to me the 14 of Hunter Smith had some kind of computer failure, wheel pedal failure, whatever happened. You don't like to see it, but
you see, like, the steering wheel never really leaves the same angle, leaving the corner. It's still sitting at that same angle.
Yeah, that is some kind of failure, obviously. Not everything goes as planned here. You know, like in real life, we've got tire failures and engine failures and different things that can happen. We do get some wheel failures and everything with our sims and some black screens and different things that can happen. And you hate to see other people getting caught up in that when it does happen. Looks
yeah,
like
let's hope it was just a black screen or a lag out or whatever. So we all know how expensive all this equipment that we run on is, and hopefully that's just something where his internet backed up a little bit.
Chad Thornquist is staying out, but I have a feeling he is going to get swallowed up here on this restart.
He's got about 5 laps on those tires, so we'll see just how bad that fall off is. We were looking at about a second fall off in about 10 laps, so.
Yeah, that really killed his strategy. Like his strategy needed it to run green. Looks like it will hold serve here as everyone comes off of pit road. And Chad he knows his strategy is killed. But like we talked about when it happened, he didn't need to put himself in that spot. He put himself in that spot, and he didn't need to at all. But real quick, while we're under yellow here, I want to, again, give a shout-out to all our sponsors, everybody at the Elite Racing Network. You're watching the Mrs. Goody's Grand National Series. Our sponsors tonight for the race are C2 Freight, Blue Egg Marketing, and Powerhouse Recycling. Could not happen without them. And speaking of C2 Freight, we saw Jeff Green race for the win last week. Let's get a Jeff Green update going on here. Let's see, where is Jeff here. He just came off pit road. Pitted from about the 10th position. Solid start to the night. Car still looks clean there for Jeff Green. So they are getting one to go here. And Jeff is still running 10th right there. Scott Crump in 9th. So the restart is going to have Chad Thornquist, Presley, Sorora. How did either one of you guys know how to say that name?
I would say Sora.
Sora? Okay. We got Tate Lytle, Tyler Fody, Chad Frankenfield, the top 5. We got Ethan Burrell, Josh Adams, Matthew Weeks, who started 14th. He's up to 8th. Got Scott Crump, Jeff Green, Andrew Rucker there.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to Scott Crump on that round of pit stops there. He was running 4th, and he's back to 9th now, so I'm not sure if he slipped through his box or... Not sure what happened, but some issues on the stop for the 90.
I predict Chad Thornquist will have trouble staying in the top 10 or 15 right here. I think that car is going to be well off pace, and that staying top 10 or 15 might be being nice. He's going to be really, really off pace. I do want to go ahead and point out Garrison Hogan, who started 40th, is going to restart 15th right here.
And real quick also, before we get back going here, Ethan Reasoner was the Lucky Dog car back on the lead lap, the sponsor of the Indy cars on Friday nights, since we're doing the crossover event here.
Alrighty, the pace car's off. Thornquist has control. And he's gone. Very early start there for Thornquist. '98's going to get into second place, it looks like, pretty easily. He's just going to try to stay on the top and roll around Chad here.
Oh,
Ooh,
big
not
time
quite,
loop on
yeah,
98.
not quite the grip there that he thought he was going to have. Tate trying to poke his nose underneath him. He kind of shut the door. That's going to cost Tate big time down the backstretch. Tate's going to give up a spot to Tyler Fody, maybe more. Tate's going to drive it down into 3 and get back clear of Fody, it looks like. Thornquist holding on a little better than I thought he would, but they did jam up there off of 2 on him, so we'll see what happens when we get back to him here. I'm telling you right now, if he's able to keep this lead on these older tires, the rest of the field better look out, because when he's on equal tires and in the lead, it's going to be unstoppable if he's able to have any kind of pace right here.
Couple moves being made back there for 4th. Ethan Burrell looking to the inside of Fody.
And another thing here, the pit window, he's going to look at the pit window here. 20 laps. He's 20 laps from his last pit stop, basically. And if he is able to stay up here in the top 5, if somehow he is able to stay in the lead, when that pit window opens, I think we're going to see everybody pit because they won't be able to take the chance on people pitting and, and getting jumped. Kind of a road course strategy there where, as soon as the pit window opens, you get in. It's very impressive what Chad Thornquist is able to do right now with these older tires.
His lap time, that lap up to speed, exactly what they're running behind him.
Yeah, he might be all right here. We saw after a couple laps, it looked like he was a little better than the 98 who was leading that whole first run. So, if he can hang on here for a couple more laps, the tires might equalize here.
I mean, what are you guys thinking? If you see him able to do this at 35 to go, are you hitting pit road?
I don't know. I still, if I'm in the top 5, I think...
we got to change for second here. Tate Lytle's going to pass. Ethan Burrell's going to come through as well. Sorry, go ahead, Jake. Finish your thought.
I was just about to... He kind of got lucky with the timing of that caution. He didn't have to run out there as long as we figured he would have to run out there. So, I mean, if you pit and try and mimic his strategy, you may not be as lucky with the timely yellow.
Chad Frankenfield with the late look on Tyler Fode. Almost had some contact there.
It looks like now that the 98's not second, Chad's not going to be leading this thing for long. The 2 car and the 37 are right there ready to pounce on him.
Could that be something where the 98's trying to save tires? He recognized that he was getting beat up in the back end of that run?
I think it could be. So we got Chad running real defensive against
Tate's
the 2
going to run on the outside here.
He's like, yeah, you go ahead and block the inside. I'll just pass you on the top.
I think Ethan Burrell is going to get a big run here off the corner.
He's going to bring Ethan with him. Big shout out to 213simware.com and everything they're doing for the drivers at Elite Racing. If you have a driver you pull for every week, hop on there and buy some merchandise.
Oh, Fode in the wall.
Frankenfield, wow.
Yeah, they were running real close for a while. Fode was really trying to keep Chad on the bottom.
I don't think he hit the wall. I think they hit each other. Yeah, Fode's got some left front damage there from the contact with Chad, but I don't think either car hit the wall.
See if we can maybe get a replay of it. It was coming out of turn 3 last time by. They were running real close for a long time there. Chad was trying to make that pass. Fode was really trying to keep him down there, not let him get a good run off the corner.
Well, Fode just blocked Matthew Weeks all the way down to the grass going into turn 3.
Did Chad come up into Fode? Yeah, Fode's in the wall a little bit.
Yeah, Chad just was taking that and said, I really don't care if you want to give it to me or not. Because now we've got Chad moving around the 98.
Yeah, the 98, and since he lost the lead the first run, I mean, now that he's back in traffic, he's been just going backwards. I don't know if just not having the clean air is just that big of a difference, or maybe just trying to save his tires a little better than the first run.
Yeah, man, he's giving up a lot of spots. As Chad's going to look underneath Chad now down in the 3. He's going to take that spot. Well, I think this put to bed anybody trying to do what Chad Thornquist has done.
Yeah, I think now that everybody's tire temperatures have started coming up and they've got where they're going to be for the run, and everything's, like we said earlier, equalized, he's just kind of going backwards.
Yeah, And like I said when he did it, you know, you just put yourself in a box you didn't have to be in. Just not a good decision. It's not real life. We have way more tire fall off here on the sim.
Yeah, he went from running second, was probably going to be the leader within a couple laps before that caution came out, before he decided to make the pit stop, and now he's fallen himself outside the top 10. And this, if anything, this eliminates any shot that this car has to win the race.
Yeah, this is what I thought we'd see in the first couple laps after the restart. It took it, just about had some contact.
See Gavin Hibbs moving into the top 10. New face here. Is that not? Is Gavin one of another crossover guy?
He might be. Chad lost 7 spots that last one.
Yeah, I don't think he's not done losing spots. Jeff Green looking inside. He's gonna push him down.
I mean, with this, we're about, that point in the run where Chad made the pit stop the first time. I mean, you think he opts to do it again? I mean, he's just going backwards.
Nah, it would be pointless to do it until you gotta wait for the fuel window to open. He put himself in this box. He has to wait at least another 15 laps or so. He's gotta get to that fuel window. Race for the lead, tighten it up. We got Tate Lido and Ethan Burrell.
And Chad Frankenfield, about 3/10 faster than both of them.
Well, Chad made contact with Tyler Fody. He's got to get going.
Yeah, I think this is a place with Chad Frankenfield. You just mentioned the word Indianapolis, and he's probably going to be grinning ear to ear, and he's running around Indianapolis here. He's got a look at the lead. You're not going to keep that guy away from the Brickyard. It seems that he eats, sleeps, and breathes Indianapolis. If you follow his Twitter account or you race in these leagues, you know that guy. He's really looking forward to this one.
Yeah, we got a lot of Indianapolis coming up on the schedule. I'm not sure about the road course. Like I said, I believe that has been changed, but we do know that they will be coming back to Indianapolis to race Lucas Oil here in just a couple weeks. Oh, we got a wreck. It's Trevor Elam, the 33, the 06. Big wreck here off of turn 2. Oh, the 88's going to get a big piece of it here late. Multi-car accident here off of turn 2. I believe there was some contact here between the 33 and the 29 of Trevor Elam.
Yeah, Trevor was trying to get by him. The 33, it seems like he maybe was letting him go. I couldn't tell, and then tried to just get back in behind him and hooked him off of turn 2 there.
The 06 is going to end up with a bunch of contact. We got the 33 involved.
Great job by the 9 missing that.
The 33 actually barrel rolled here when he got hit.
Oh, look at 51 barely squeaked by there, taking the long way around.
Yeah, Dustin Dewar.
Can we get an onboard shot with 51 going through that thing? I want to see what he sees here. He went all the way down to the inside wall and missed these guys.
Trey Holmes almost had it all missed and did such a great job.
Another one that missed it, Vincent Isabella. How many crashes and things did we have to see that car miss last week to get to victory lane at all those last restarts, and Vincent was able to survive all of them? Well, he just survived another one right there.
That car just stopped once it hit the outside wall. And it's tough to cut the thing down, you're committed coming off these corners.
All right, we got some split decisions here on pit stops.
Yeah, I'm surprised a lot of these guys are opting to stay out, seeing just what happened to Thornquist there.
Here's why. I'm going to tell you why. We are going to restart with about 7 or 8 laps until the fuel window opens. So these guys that are staying out, this tells me their strategy is going to be, we're going to pit pretty quick here when the window opens. That's what that tells me. And now they have kind of, fresh tires coming to the field. So what I would do if I was a Tate Lytle or Presley or Tyler, if I'm one of these guys that stayed out and I said, listen, I'm going to save my set of tires here in case there's a green, white checkered late. Like, that's another decision. That's another factor into this decision. So what I would do is, as soon as the pit window opens, I would see where those guys with tires are. First one's going to be Chad Frankenfield. So when Chad gets to me, when I see him on my relative getting close, and if the fuel window is open, if I'm inside of 35 to go, I'd wait for him to get close, and then I pit. I jump in, I pit. Now, one thing that I would consider if I pitted here is 2 tires under green. You're only going to need 10 laps of fuel. Left sides are not terribly wearing. I would consider a 2-tire pit stop under green, and I would pit when these guys all pit. I would, like, when I see Tate Lytle pit, as soon as the window opens, I'd just jump in, get 2 tires, and jump them, and have the same kind of right side tires, same fresh right side.
The only reason I wouldn't want 2 tires is, I mean, just watching these guys go around here and see these cars kicking out, coming off the corners, I think, just taking 2 tires is going to loosen that thing up, make that a little worse. And I don't know if I want to deal with that for, what do we got, about a 40-lap run to the end after the pit stops. I think that's a long time to fight a loose car.
Yeah, but you kind of put yourself in that, like, everybody's kind of in their own little box now.
Well, I'm surprised that Chad Thornquist stayed out again. You saw him falling back there on those a little bit older tires than the rest of these guys, and he stayed out there. He's running 8th, so. I don't know which group I'd rather be in right now.
Yeah, I'd rather be one of the guys that has a couple sets of tires left. Like we said, late race restarts and whatnot. I want to have tires at the end of the race. And if you've already pitted right here, lap 30, if you use 2 sets of tires in the first 30 laps, and you still got over half the race to go.
I think that this tire difference is going to be massive. I would, Chad might even get to Chad Frankenfield might get to the lead before these guys pit. I mean, that was about 15 laps on tires, and we saw Thornquist falling back on 5-lap older tires. So I think this is going to be about a second difference on tires. I think these guys are going to eat them up real quick.
Yeah, we saw Thornquist be able to get out there and get a really good jump and restart and hold the lead for a while, and it looked like his decision to stay out was okay. But now you've got 15 guys out here on older tires. It's going to be a exciting restart here.
Yeah, and the leader is gone. Tate's gone here as the leader. One thing that'll be interesting is everybody should keep one eye on Chad Frankenfield. We know how aggressive he is on fresher tires. He is going to be gone on kill. These guys all know the strategy. They all know the fuel window is going to open in about 8 to 10 laps. So these guys that just pitted, if they want to take 4 on the pit stop, they are going to have to tear through here.
You see Chad already making it 3 wide back here for 15th, trying to get by these guys as quick as he can. It's another thing, these tire differences, this opens up that opportunities for some pileups here. Track's really narrow, hard to make these passes. Cars start wrecking them, not a lot of places to go.
Yeah, it's a wide track, so you wouldn't think it would be hard to miss. But yeah, like once they get piled up, look at Chad here, 3 wide again. Just got to pass him when you get to him. That was a good first lap, though. He's going to get all the way up here to the 51. He's going to get to the top 10 after just 1 lap. He's got Scott Crump coming behind him on fresh tires, and Josh Adams is the next car behind Scott Crump. Those 3 are coming through way better than anybody else. And then back to what you said about Thornquist. I don't understand him staying out there. This was a chance for him to be on the front side. He would have been the 4th or 5th car on tires right there. I don't know. Chad, strategy-wise tonight, just is not thinking clearly.
Yeah, and you see right there just the tire difference. Chad Frankenfield had to get out of the gas, wait for Jeff Green to get out of the groove, and then make the pass. It just, the track's only a 1, 2, maybe 1.5 lane track. It's hard to make these passes and make it efficient.
Yeah, and they're just, like you said, there's just not a lot of places you can go.
So I'm actually kind of watching it, starting to change my mind a little bit on the strategy of the guys that stayed out here. So they've still got 2 sets of tires left. We've got right around 40 laps to go. We're talking about the 15, the 90, everybody else that pitted. We run 10 laps or so here. They're gonna come down and use their last set of tires, and some of these guys will have an extra set. So it's kind of not looking good if we do get a couple more cautions for some of these guys that have already used 2 sets of tires.
Yeah, that's one thing that factored in, but I feel like at some point we're going to see a green run. It is Indy. I do like the strategy of staying out here, but these guys on the tires are just absolutely flying. Taking no prisoners whatsoever. It's incredible to watch this drive to the field.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see later on which one's the right call. I mean, do you want the extra set of tires? Is that going to pay off? Or you want to, make up all the time right now? Yeah, I mean, Chad restarted 20th around there.
And here he is with Fody. We saw this earlier, but if Fody wanted payback right here, like there's no chance.
I mean, in 4 laps, these guys drove from about 20th up to the top 5.
Yeah, they restarted, I believe, 17th, 18th, and 19th. Chad, Scott, and Josh Adams. And they have just tore through this field. Chad was already a top 3 car, but what this did for Scott Crump and Josh Adams, if this were to run green from here, this has put them up here close enough to the front to be able to race for this win. They were both running in that 5th to 10th range, just not close enough to really do anything here for the win, and they are close enough now.
Here's the battle for the lead. As we've been talking about, it's not going to be much of a battle. 15's going to have the lead, and he's going to set sail here into turn 1.
I have a feeling Scott Crump is going to pass him here pretty quick. Yeah, Scott's going to look to the inside here. Tate's going to shut the door. It's a ballsy maneuver considering the tires that Scott's got on his car.
We still got a couple guys on tires trying to work their way through the field. See Vincent Isabella trying to make the pass on Weeks back there for 11th. Trying to follow Ethan Burrell, who I believe also made a stop.
And here it is now. The guys that running first, second, third are the guys who just pitted. And I mean, I mentioned about, when Chad gets on your relative to pit. Well, they've tore through this so quick. We're still 3 to 5 laps from this fuel window being open and safe for pitting and making it to the end. So these guys are, if there is not another caution this race, or if the caution, oh my.
Oh, speak. Spoken into existence, Chris. Looks like it's for the 81.
Yeah, I think that's
Joey Chapman.
all the guys that pitted right there and came through. I think that's the end of their race right there, because now they're going to get jumped by everybody else that just stayed out, and it's going to be even playing field for everybody.
Kind of lost it by himself off of turn 4. But yeah, I mean, this race is really interesting because, I mean, these guys had, what, 4 sets of tires? And here we are, we're just past halfway, and, you know, some of these guys are considering maybe even using their last set. I mean, the rate this is going, I mean, we've been pitting every 15 laps.
Yeah, it seems like these guys probably would have been benefited by an extra set of tires from the officials this week, but with the way these cautions are playing out, but it's going to make it pretty fun to call here the last half of this race, with some guys out of tires, some guys one set of tires. When do you use them?
Yeah, I think the thing is too, I mean, if you're in this race, I mean, coming to Indy, like you know, we usually have at some point a green flag run, and you kind of, you know, it could be this stop, it could be the next one, you never know. So like, you don't want to be caught out there on old tires. So I think, you know, a lot of these guys took the risk to pit early on, and that long run never happened. And here they are sitting in, you know, the struggle with tire management right now.
Yeah, the way this is shaping out, we just came from Las Vegas. We just came from Vegas, the gambling capital of the world, pretty much, and that's what this is turning out to be. You're just throwing your ball in the container, just pulling one out, and you're hoping you're right.
And one thing I will say is I think everybody has to pit. The question is, do you get tires or just take fuel? Chad Frankenfield is getting his last set of tires. Josh Adams is doing fuel only. He is not going to use his last set of tires here.
Yeah, I think it's too early to use your last set of tires the way this thing's been going. I think you got to stick it out. Even if you end up losing a lot of spots now, I think you got to bank on another caution later.
And the thing about this too is Josh isn't even going to be the leader. We saw how Thornquist earlier was able to hold the lead for a few laps before he got trained, and Josh isn't going to have the luxury of being able to take off and get that buffer. So
yeah, but Josh is playing this, I think, the way you have to play it if you don't want to use your last set of tires.
Yeah, no doubt. I like the call to have tires on the box and use them if you need them.
Yeah, I mean, if we get another 10, 15 lap run, another yellow, I mean, these guys with one set left are going to be sitting in the catbird seat going into the last portion of this race.
All right, real quick before we go green here, I want to bring up somebody and interview him. Hey, Tyler Fody, this is Chris, Nick, and Jake up in the booth. We got a few different tire strategies going on here. We got people who are out of tires, people who took fuel only to save tires. I believe, based on our math, you still have a set left in the pits. So what's your take on what we're going to see here the last 30, 35 laps?
Well, I imagine we're probably going to get 15 or 20 laps like we've been getting, and then probably another yellow, which is what I'm hoping for because Chad, Crump, Adams, Ethan, I think, are all done now. So that's what we're hoping for there. Just got to manage the track position. I had to wait in my box and peel Chad's left door out of my front, fix some damage there. So we'll be coming back now, hoping for 15 laps or so, and then a yellow.
Well, alrighty, you're going to restart 13th here, but I do believe Josh Adams just got fuel only, so he has a set left.
Oh boy.
So we did, and we had some people stay out. So good luck out there, Tyler. Hopefully you get through the mess. You were my pick to win. You know, no pressure or anything.
I'll get it done for you, buddy.
All right, man. Good luck. Real
Yeah.
quick, before we go back green here, too, I want to give a shout out to all our sponsors once again here under yellow. Mrs. Goody's Grand National Series, everybody at C2 Freight, Blue Egg Marketing, Powerhouse Recycling. Shout out to everybody at Elite Racing Network. Nick and Jake, thanks for coming up here tonight. And shout out to our producer, Ryan Gavel. What were you about to say there, Nick? I kind of cut you off getting those sponsor reads in there.
No, I'm just excited to see how this plays out. I mean, it's not too often we get to see strategy like this where tire sets come into play.
And is Vincent the leader? Did he pick the top?
I believe the 09 is the leader. 09 of Ethan Stanley.
So we've got a bunch of different strategies going on here. The first and second place car stayed out. Third place is on fuel only. Everybody else is on 4 tires. Some people out of tires, some people not. And here we go. Stack up on the top a little bit. Green is out. Leader is gone. Which is Ethan Stanley, as you mentioned. The battle is on for third. Vincent's going to get down there. Vincent's got a little run here at Josh Adams. We saw how fast they tore through on tires. I'm surprised they're not getting swallowed up right here. Got a lot of cloud cover coming over there. Here comes Scott Crump in the 90. Big run here off of turn 4. Don't think Vincent's going to be able to do anything about it. He's not quite to him yet, though. Vincent's going to try to squeeze back down. Can't quite do it. Scott Crump is going to come around. Josh Adams here off of 2. Not quite. Did not have to. Oh, look at Chad Frankenfield. Wow, big block there. Josh Adams, I thought was going to get passed by Scott Crump, but he's going to take a look at the lead.
We're going to go 3 wide into 3.
And I'm pretty sure Chad had a tire in the grass after that block from the 5 car.
New leader, Josh Adams, for a corner. Scott Crump's got a big run here off of 4. Josh will get credit for the lap led, but he's not going to be able to do anything here with Scott Crump.
I think if it stays green here, obviously it's not going to be good for the 56, but just haven't seen much from the 5 car all race, and until it's time to potentially win the thing, and here he goes, he's going for second, gonna try and run down the 90.
Yeah, well, we see this every week. You know, you're not up here every week with us, but Garrison doesn't qualify. He sometimes starts from the pits. I think he just enjoys passing cars. He knows he's one of the fastest guys, and he just, wants to start at the back and pass everybody. Would you agree with that, Nick? It seems like every week he's starting from the pits and 40th. We got contact.
That's the crossover guy, the 07 of Gavin Hibbs in the wall.
I think he had contact with Andrew Rucker there off the 4.
It looks like he might have bounced it off the wall himself, gotten to the side of Chad Thurnquist back there.
Chad Frankenfield through to P2. And Chad Frankenfield is one of the guys, and so is Scott Crump. Those 2 guys, they want to see this run green. If a caution comes out, they are going to be dead in the water. They are out of tires. There's no more fresh tires for them in the pits.
Yeah, that That is not a good feeling too. I mean, we just passed halfway about 10 laps ago and have no tires left in the pits. A little bit past halfway. I mean, that's not a good position to be in.
Yeah, you don't want to run out of tires anywhere. That's for sure. Josh Adams continues to fall back. I think what Josh would like to see is maybe a couple more laps and a yellow. Even a yellow maybe right now everybody would come and use their last set. You definitely, if you're Josh Adams, you don't want to lose the track position and then get a yellow. Like, you want to get a yellow while you still have this track position.
Well, I mean, I think enough guys took tires on that last caution. I think, you know, they're all going to stay out anyway. He's going to lose the track position if he comes to pit.
Well, I think they've ran almost 10 laps here. If a caution comes out, I would almost bet that everybody who's got a set left will come and use it. So Josh just continues to back up here. We've got Rucker underneath him. Thornquist is coming through. Jeff Green there. C2 Freight Machine right behind him.
Talk about Thornquist again. He made his bet early on in this race, lap 8, when he decided to make that strategy call for tires within the first 10 laps when he saw the window open, and just never really worked out for him.
Yeah, and we didn't like that call from the time we seen it happen. Oh, we got contact here getting into 3. The 28 and the 46, I believe, just bounced doors getting done into turn 3.
But while we have Scott Crump in the lead, who was my pick, just like to say, do want to mention, you know, upcoming next week on April 12th, there's going to be a charity event for him and his wife. Their newborn son Grayson's in the hospital. You know, they've been going through a tough time, so it's going to be a charity event. Going to be some Formula V's at the Auto Club, so a lot of guys are already donating and signing up, and you know, all the proceeds are going directly to them to help them out in the tough times, the tough situations. So always good to help out, you know, fellow elite drivers here and fellow sim racers, and you know, we're all here to support each other. So tune in. It's going to be broadcasted here on the Elite Racing Network again April 12th. So feel free to look for the GoFundMe too. I think Chad's been tweeting it out on the main Elite Racing account. So keep an eye out for that as well.
Yeah, and every dollar helps, you know, to pay hospital bills and whatnot. And everybody tune in next week. I think Gerald's going to be on the broadcast there. And like you said, you know, the GoFundMe, I believe, is on the Elite socials. Like, if you've got our Twitter handle or anything like that, it's there. Do you know what that is by chance, Nick, to be able to say it over this broadcast? I'm not sure what it would be.
What, the GoFundMe?
Yeah.
I'd have to look. I believe Chad tweeted it out. The title is Grayson Crump and Family. I know that.
But while we're looking for that, that's the great thing about the NASCAR community, the sim racing community. We may have our differences with guys while we're on the track, but once it comes to any time off the track and somebody is in need, you don't really think twice about helping somebody from this community. It's really good group of people, sim racing, on iRacing, real life, wherever. It's a really good sport to be a part of. So if you find it in your heart and help out Scott, he'd sure appreciate it.
Yeah, just looking at the link, I know their goal was to raise $2,500, and you know, I'm sure Elite helped out a lot with it, but you know, they've already raised almost $6,800. So I mean, that's pretty incredible. So again, if you can help out, if you're able to, I mean, I know Scott and everybody would appreciate it. So.
Yeah, not to get off of that topic here, but to get back to the race here, Chad Thornquist is at it again. He is just recently pitted, coming off pit road here just now. And we got a wreck. The 12 of Vincent Isabella is spun over here in turn 4.
Speaking of Thornquist, he is no longer with us, just disconnected from the server.
Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, fellas. But Scott Crump and Chad Frankenfield shot to win this race just ended.
Yeah, this race just fell into the hands of everybody who's got one set of tires left. I don't know, Chris. You might have jinxed the 12-car Vincent there. I mean, we talked about him maybe breaking the bad luck. But, I don't know. Had a little incident there.
Yeah, he's very lucky to get away there. Very lucky to get away with minimal damage. Pit road is open. You're going to see people stay out here. But the people that stayed out, like, they don't have tires left. One interesting note, we just talked to him here, and he does have a set lane in the pits and chose not to come get him. Tyler Fody is staying out. I believe the 98, the 11, the 5. Some of these guys still have a set left, but I think enough pitted there. At 20 to go, we're going to restart with about 17 to 18 to go. I think if you're going to come get a set of tires, that was the time to do it. I just don't think, if you're sitting here banking on another yellow, well, guess what? You know, at 17 laps, if you get another yellow at 13, 14 to go, you're going to pit and you're not going to be able to blow through ever. The only reason we saw those guys be able to blow through everybody is they had 10, 12 lap fresher tires. I just don't think we're going to get a run long enough. If you're banking on another yellow, there's going to be more than one. I don't understand the call if you have a set not coming and getting them. I mean, we knew the 90 and the 15 were out. The 1 might be out too. I'm not sure. I am not sure how many times he's been on pit road. But the 11, the 98, the 40, the 8, these guys had a set left. What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about the decision to not come get a set that's laying in the pits for you?
I don't know. So I think if we run long enough for tires to matter, those guys are just they're gonna have so many cars to pass that have no choice but to stay out. That I don't know that they're gonna be able to make that up all that quick. So we saw Chad and all those guys restart about 17th or 18th, and get to the lead fairly quickly. But you're gonna have so many more cars to pass.
I know we were talking about gambling earlier, and I think the 40's taking a huge gamble here that there's going to be more cautions. But, I mean, it might pay off. He might be the last one with one set in the pits, and it might be huge if this thing goes, green for 5 to 10 laps. And, the question is, I mean, only 20 laps to go. I mean, is he going to have enough time to pit, take tires, and pass them all?
I just don't think so. I don't see it working out for him. I think you've stayed out. You've made your bed. I mean, we know the 90's taking the top here. We know the 90 and the 15 are out of tires. Like, there's no... The only reason they're going to be back on pit road is if they're fixing damage. That's it. But everybody third on back should have a set left, I believe. Until you get to Tate Lytle. in 13th, the first car off pit road. So that's the car I would watch. I would watch the 13. We got Tate Lytle, Rucker, Jeff Green, Jay Conor, Josh Adams, like that group of guys. If this runs green from here, somebody out of the drivers I just named is more than likely going to win this race. So your pick's looking good right now. You got Scott Crump. My pick just made a call that I don't necessarily agree with, but we'll see what happens. Scott Crump again has picked the top here. The pace car is going to make that left-hand turn. Scott's going right away.
Chad got a good start there too. He's going to hang to the inside of Crump for the lead here. Maybe, not quite. They are teammates, I believe, so maybe a little bit of a break right there.
Tate Lytle's shooting through the middle of 3 wide here. Turn 2, that's the car that I would want to watch right now.
Oh yeah, 3 wide, all the way back here for 16th. Jay Canner, Ryan Barbieri, Mark Robillis, Jeff Green in the mix.
Yeah, just trying to get through all these guys on older tires.
Oh, Jeff almost in the grass. Josh Adams got in the back room. That's going to give Jeff Story a couple spots there. Gets by both 38 Jeff Green and 56 Josh Adams.
Yeah, I don't think Jeff was being quite aggressive enough there for Josh's liking, which you gotta go. You hit it right here. You got to go and get it. Like you see Tate doing.
Yeah, and the last thing you want too is, being on fresh tires, you don't want to get stuck on the outside behind some of these guys with older tires. You're just going to go right backwards.
He's got a battle for the lead. Chad Frankenfield, he's going to take it to the inside of the 90.
I think it's only a matter of time before Tate Lytle gets to all of them. Oh, and Rucker's trying to block Tate here on the front stretch. Wow.
Yeah, the 8 of Josh Robin threw a block on Rucker, who happened to be throwing a block on Tate.
Tate said, that's fine, I'll shoot the middle. That's going to put Tate up into 6th place, I believe.
3 wide again back here at 51 to Harrison Talon. Barbieri, Jay Canner. I don't know if this is going to work. Surprised the 9 was able to drive by both of them on the outside right there.
Well, the 9's on fresh tires. The 9, the 38, the 56 are guys that are on tires.
This is a mess right here.
Oh, we got Scott Crump trying to defend against the 98 down here in the turn 1. Or not Scott Crump, Chad Frankenfield, sorry. Scott is falling back here.
We got battles going on all over the place right now.
Side by side for the lead. Tate Lytle just cruising through everybody.
Oh, contact!
Oh, we got wrecked! Oh!
Cody's in it. Crump's in it.
Frankenfield is in it.
Oh, we're still wrecking back here. Jeff Green's in it. Harrison Talon's flipping. Barbieri's in it. The 9's in it. Burrell's in it.
Wow.
Man, yeah, that was huge. That was half the field.
I tell you, the one guy that we figured had a set of tires left, Tyler Fody, he's in that.
I don't know if a discussion going on about who came up into who or who came down. I think that's just a race. I think Chad came down a little bit. The 98 went up a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know if this even all started in the lead or was this 2 separate wrecks. Because I saw them wrecking for the lead and then they started wrecking back there for like 10th.
I think they wrecked back there running over each other.
Yeah, I wouldn't put any of that on the 15 right there. That I'd put that all in the 98 coming up, and the 15 was just about as close to the wall as he could have been. There's a little bit of net code in there, but
I feel like Chad came down just a little bit off the 2. If you watch his line off the 2, he came down about 3 inches. The 98 was coming up a little bit, and then they net coded. I feel like they kind of met in the middle based on the net code. I don't think either car went far enough to hit the other.
And a
Just
lot of these guys
a
barely missed
racing
it.
deal, in my opinion.
I don't know. I think if you're the 98, you've got to realize how close the 15 is to the wall already, and the net code that could possibly happen, and give the guy on your outside a little bit more respect than that.
For whatever reason, though, the 46 doesn't slow up in time. Hits the back of the 9 back there where you thought there was a second wreck. They start running over each other right there. The 9 loses it, gets into the 56. Then they are all spinning at that point. Jeff Green trying to get through. Josh Adams getting through in the grass. Jeff Green gets a little contact in the door.
I think back here where we had the second wreck is kind of what we were watching last week at Las Vegas. There were some guys that seemed like they kind of just wanted to get up there and get involved in something, and there were a few guys in that second pack that just kept the foot to the floor, and made that one bigger than it needed to be, just like we saw a couple of times last week.
Ethan Burrell came in real late there and got some damage, but I think he didn't expect the guy to roll. So lots of cars there with damage. I'm not even sure who our leader is going to be right now. It's Chad Frankenfield.
Yeah. See this big pile up back here, and a lot of these guys, there's some guys in here that we didn't think had tires, and they came in and took tires. So this might get pretty interesting here. Ethan Burrell, Matthew Weeks, Garrison Hogan pitted from the lead, came in and took tires.
Yeah, based on scoring and everything, Chad Frankenfield is staying out here. Tate Lytle snuck through. He's clean.
Wonder if anybody's told Chad he doesn't have a nose. It's.
I think,
Rucker is clean. Jeff Green got that damage in the door. Josh Adams is clean. The 02, the 28. Lots of these guys are clean.
Man, I don't know if I like the call on Chad, coming down to the end of these things. Caution seem to breed caution, so I don't think that's a bad call. I mean, he does have a lot of damage, but you never know.
Yeah, without a nose, it ain't gonna
I don't know. He's the one controlling this thing, and he's gonna have to get a jump to get away. But I mean, that thing's not gonna be there's no way he's up to power. It's gonna be a parking lot getting at turn 1.
The 16th place is where Garrison Hogan's going to restart.
Yeah, the question is he going to have enough time? We get a couple more yellows, and he might even be in one. You never know. I mean, going to be a rush to the front for him and Weeks and Burrell. Josh Robin, I believe, came in and took tires right there. I mean, there's potential for these guys, that we might not see at the front all the time. Potential for them, they if they were able to save a set of tires, they could have a pretty decent finish out of this thing.
I just don't know what Chad is thinking here. This is just not a smart.
I think he's making some comments about never getting to win at this place, and I think he's the leader right now. The win is he can reach out there and see it, but I mean he's not gonna grab it. So I think pride is getting in front of his brain probably right here a little bit.
Yeah, one thing I'll say, if he causes a wreck, it's not. This is not wise. Like I feel like this. If the shoe was on the other foot, Chad would be barking at the guy. So I think that
Right.
this is not smart. but he is the control car. And he's gone. Chad's left.
Yeah, you can see as soon as he hit fourth gear, I mean, these guys are already making up ground on him.
Yeah, he's going to be a parachute before they even get to turn 1.
Yeah, the car is not turning.
Oh, we got Josh trying to get inside a wrecker.
Yeah, I mean, you see Chad, I mean, he's going to lose 4 spots just down the backstretch alone.
Yeah, just not a wise decision there to put yourself in that spot for Chad Frankenfield.
But how about some of these guys up here? I mean, David Carpenter running 8th, started 30th, playing the strategy game. Got Zach Evans up here looking for maybe top 5.
Garrison Hogan is coming. He restarted 16th. He's up to 8th.
Got Chad causing even more of a stack up back there. I think somebody just ran into the back of him.
They're going to be 3 wide over here. Richard Hines, Chad Frankenfield.
We are coming to 10 to go this time. Garrison's picking up more spots. I think he's going to need one more caution. I think Garrison's going to need one more caution to be able to win this race.
I don't think so. I think he's going to get it. If this goes, I think he needs it to go green. I don't think he wants any more yellows.
And I don't know, there's a lot of cars to pass that are going to be tough to pass, that are not just going to roll over and let him go.
I don't think they have much of a choice with the tire advantage.
Yeah, but his tire advantage isn't like what they had earlier. Like he's only got, what, 3 green flag laps of a tire advantage? It's not a ton.
You see
Josh
Jeff
moving second.
Yeah.
Gonna try to take him 3 wide down here into turn 3. He wanted to look underneath that O2 right there, but just couldn't do it. Solid run for Jess Story, somebody we don't talk about too often. Just 9 laps to go now. Just gonna look underneath Andrew Rucker right here.
Oh, almost a little contact right there.
Yeah, got really loose. That's gonna hurt him.
I'm surprised he was even able to get there on Rucker. I thought he was too far back to make that dive, but he was able to make it work. Jess Story's gonna follow him through.
I just don't think there's enough time without a yellow. I think he needs a yellow.
Somebody else coming too. I mean, Josh Robbins not too far behind. Looking to take Rucker and Jeff Green 3 wide. Jeff Green's gonna protect the inside.
Just 8 laps to go, and Garrison is 2.2 seconds behind the leader. With a car between them. Josh Adams is still out there between them.
I think we were talking about RC not being here. And,
Oh, there's the caution right there. See if we can find out who it was. Oh, it was Gavin Hibbs here. Contact with the 42 of Michael Hosack.
Oh yeah, it looks like he might get right hooked here on the straightaway.
I was just about to say that the 56 of Josh Adams is probably going to leave this race as the points leader with some of those guys not showing up today, but then we're going to get a restart, get the field bunched back up, and you never know what's going to happen at the end of these things. I don't think it's quite going to be a green-white checker, but it's pretty close.
Yeah,
If I am Josh Adams, I am bargaining with Tate Lytle right now. Hey, when are you leaving? You know, I drive this 56 car that Tate drove for a long time. Got to be good friends. I think Josh is basically going to say, hey, look, I know I'm going to finish second to you at best, so if you help me out here, I'll be able to get between you and Garrison, and that I think that's enough to sell Tate on trying to take off, or maybe picking the top and letting Josh know about the whereabouts when he's going to take off. Because if I'm Tate, I don't want Garrison on fresher tires being right behind me, on the start. Like, I want Josh Adams to have the bottom to be able to let me get down and put a car between me and Garrison.
Yeah, I think I think it's tough though. Him and Tate and Garrison Hogan, are old teammates, old Pro Edge teammates, and Josh drives for Pro Edge, so there's a lot of friendship and alliances there. So I don't know who he's gonna go with, but yeah, I think if I'm Tate Lytle, I'm 100% taking the top. I don't want Garrison Hogan starting third on my bumper. Like you said, you want that buffer.
It'll be interesting. I'm not sure if we got 2 to go that time or not. I've got a lucky dog. It's going to be probably got 2 to go. Get 1 to go. 5. It's going to probably be 4 laps here. Once again, we got Jeff Green here, C2 Freight. They do a lot for us. I'm going to hit on all our sponsors here. Again, Mrs. Goody's Grand National Series, live from Indianapolis Motor Speedway tonight. Tonight's race is the Indiana 185. Shout out to all our premier partners, everybody at C2 Freight, Blue Egg Marketing, and Powerhouse Recycling. Everybody at Elite Racing Network, and Chad Frankenfield did not get the finish he wanted tonight, but he does a whole lot of different leagues for Elite. Won almost every night of the week.
And we've seen a couple of the IndyCar guys, maybe a couple of the F1 guys come out and try out the stock cars today, so maybe some of you stock car guys, when you come back and watch this thing, cross over on Friday nights for the IndyCar League.
So none of our pre-race picks have really panned out. Tyler Fody was wrecked over there in the big wreck. Who was your pick, Nick?
I had Crump. I almost went with Tate, but I was, I had faith Scott Crump's luck was going to turn around.
Well, he was part of that big wreck on the back too, wasn't he?
Yep.
And Jake, you had Zach Evans. He's still running ninth. Crazier things and stranger things have happened.
Yeah, I picked Zach because I remember when we were talking to him last week, he was on the fence about even running tonight because he's got his basketball team in the national championship game, and I don't believe that's started yet, so he's working on a top 10, so looking pretty good for the 6 Me-Fine Ford Mustang.
Yep, and what has happened here is Tate Lytle has taken the top. Josh Adams is going to get the restart second on the bottom. I think that's a win-win for both those guys. Tate doesn't have fresh tires lined up right behind him. Josh gets to try to protect against fresh tires.
I think we're going to see, depending on the restart the 5 gets, he's probably going to try and push it 3 wide, either into turn 1 or turn 3, one of the two. So he's not going to have too much time to make his move for the win here, but we do know he has a little bit fresher tires.
Yeah, I would expect the 8 of Josh Robin to probably follow him through too. I mean, Robin's also on those fresh tires, been kind of following Hogan through there, so maybe keep an eye on that 8 too, and might get a good finish out of this thing.
Either way that it shakes out, these last 4 laps here when we go green, if they are ran on the green, which I highly doubt it based on what we've seen, should be exciting. Different tire strategies. Here we go. And Tate Lytle is gone.
Oh, we've got a wreck in the back before we even get going here. Big crash. The 90th Scott Crump is involved.
32, Dustin Dewar. Michael Goodman, the 44. Is that Mark Rebillis in the 96?
Somebody needs to tell these guys the parking lot's on the infield, not the front straightaway.
See a big checkup back here, and yeah, like you said, it just turns into a parking lot. So we talked about earlier. I mean, this track, looks wide, but you got the infield, the pit road wall, the outside wall, and not a lot of room in between here on the front stretch.
Like 45 went trying to time the start, mistimed. I had to check up, and when he checked up, he had to. Yeah, that's just he laid back to get himself a run there, and he just didn't time it out good, and that's just, you don't do that from 22nd like that, because everybody behind you when you go, they're gone. They're assuming the guys up front are gone, and it's just you trying to time a run, and that caused that big wreck there. Got to be smarter than that when you're 22nd.
And this is exactly what Tate Lytle's hoping for here. A couple quick yellows, maybe steal the win on a green-white checker, not let this thing go green, and give Hogan a shot at him. These guys on fresher tires.
I really feel for Scott Crump there. It looked like he was going to win this thing with 25, 30 to go. Caught that yellow, and he was out of tires, and his night just derailed from there. This will be our first attempt at a green-white checkered as well. Little glimpse in the next week. We got a full distance race next Monday at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the Charlotte 300. It's going to be a 200 lap race, full distance next week. However, Nick and I will not be here next week. Not sure who you'll have here in the booth. That has not been told to us at this time, but Nick and I will be away on vacation, so tune in and check out whoever it is next week in the full distance race. Always great. I kind of hate that we're missing it, Nick, especially a full distance Charlotte race. Lots of strategy, lots of different things go into a full distance race. Should be pretty exciting. So what do you guys think is going to happen here? You think we've seen the last yellow?
We'll probably line up and do it again at least one more time.
I don't know if you can trust any of our predictions. I think beginning of this thing, we thought we'd have some green flag runs here, and I think our longest one's been, 15, maybe 20 laps?
I am very surprised at the lack of green flag racing around here. This is typically not a too difficult of a track to run green on. Like, it just, I am surprised.
I think, Chris, you just need to quit talking about the yellow while they're out there running green, and I think we'd be okay. I think you've summoned it a couple times tonight.
Yeah, I have said it a couple times, like, oh, he needs a yellow, or, oh, for this strategy to work, he's going to need a yellow, and before I can get it out, we had a caution. But I am not driving the cars, so.
And like we kind of hit on earlier, I think that's why a lot of these guys are out of tires. They kind of, caution comes out. You're like, oh, it's going to be a green flag run. It's got to be this time. then you pit for tires and do it again in 10 laps.
And then you run out of tires real fast when you only got 3 sets in there pitting every 10 laps. Which is something we saw tonight. You know, there were still 35 laps left, and guys put on the last set. You know, that's what happened to Scott Crump. 35 laps to go, and he put on his last set, and it just didn't work.
And we still don't know which strategy is going to win. So we've got Tate and Josh out there on older tires than what Garrison has. Garrison has probably the newest tires in the field right now, so we'll see which tire strategy ultimately is going to win out. Just a matter of minutes here.
And I do want to give a call to Josh Adams because he kind of played the both strategies a little bit. We saw him pit the same time Scott Crump did, and then they had another quick caution, and those guys put on their last set. Josh chose to do fuel only and bit the bullet, and he's been able to get back in this thing, claw his way back in because he saved a set of tires and used them later. So that's a great call there by Josh Adams to not put that last set on and take his medicine at that point.
I'm telling you, I'd keep an eye on this 8 car. He's going to be in the lane the leader's restarting in on the outside. I think he might get a good shot here if he gets a good start.
Tate is gone again. Oh, another stack up.
Garrison's going to look underneath the 56.
Trying to get around Josh Adams there, he is.
I think he needed to get around and clear by turn 1 to have any shot at Tate, I think. This running side by side with Josh right now is what Tate wants to see.
Yeah, and Josh has actually gotten back clear. We'll see if Garrison dives down into 3. He does, but Josh just completely misses the corner.
Yeah, but that might have been all Tate needed right there. It's just Garrison struggling for half a lap to make the pass for second.
And he's going to get back to the yard of bricks without a caution. Just one more lap for Tate Lytle.
Garrison's going to have to work to get there. He's got about half a second to make up in 1 lap.
Josh Robin moving up to 4th here.
And don't count Garrison out just yet.
Down the back stretch for the last time. About 3 car lengths is the difference. Garrison really packed it down in there. Oh, Tate missed turn 3. Oh, Tate misses 3. Garrison gets in the wall. Tate's going to miss turn 4.
It's going to be a drag race.
He's trying to get to his bumper. Wow. Tate Lytle is going to win the Brickyard, followed by Garrison Hogan and Josh Adams comes home P3. Josh Robin, Jet Story coming home 4th and 5th. Garrison has got to be kicking himself for what just happened there. He had no idea that Tate was going to miss turn 3, and Garrison sitting in there too and got the wall. Garrison doesn't hit the wall there, he's going to be able to beat Tate because Tate just completely misses turn 3 on the last lap. Well, we had a lot of yellows, but we did get to see a great finish, one of the better finishes I've seen at Indianapolis. Typically, they're not that close, and I mean, I thought Garrison was trying to get to his bumper there in turn 4, and he might have been. It just needed a little bit more. Here it is again on the replay. Tate's going to go down in here and completely miss the corner. Just misses it. Garrison digging, gets up into the wall. And then down here into 4, it looks like he's trying to get to his bumper, maybe a little bump and run. Just couldn't quite get to the bumper. And then here down the front stretch, Garrison had no run, no big momentum, so Tate was able to do whatever he wanted at that point. What a finish. Matthew Weeks comes from 6th, Jeff Green 7th, Rucker. Ethan Reasoner comes home 9th. Robert Hill Jr. comes home 10th. Westergreen, Evans, Isabella, David Carpenter, Ethan Burrell round out the top 15. Chad Frankenfield ends up 25th. Crump ends up 29th. Fody 30th. So, like you said, I believe that Josh Adams is going to be the point leader leaving here.
Yeah, what a race. Tate getting his second win on the season in just his fourth start, so he's sitting at 50% win ratio here, about halfway through the season.
He is burning them down all the way down the front stretch. Living it up in the deuce. We are now joined by our third place finisher, Josh Adams. Josh, take us through your night. Had different tire strategies, and a little surprise to us was all the precautions. So people were running out of tires. People were trying to save tires. Take us through your night and everything that led to you finishing third.
Yeah, I had absolutely zero idea how that thing was going to pan out because, like you said, the tires, and then we kept getting the cautions, so the tire guys ended up like right back on us again, and I thought I was going to get probably blown by a couple of guys, but I'm glad it was just Garrison there.
Yeah, Josh, I think after this race, you're officially taking over the points lead, just about at the halfway point of the season. How you feeling about going into Charlotte next week, and then followed by, I believe we're coming back here to Indy, going to the road course, but that might have changed. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, definitely needed a podium finish after what happened last week at Las Vegas, but I'm always looking forward to going to Charlotte. Don't know too much about a road course, but that one can get changed. But looking forward to that next one.
So Josh, you just put the Steven Dodson cold case killer's car on the podium. So you got any shout outs you want to make? That's a pretty nice podcast to listen to if you got some time.
Oh yeah, yes. Steven and Chris, do a pretty good job with that. Obviously it's just starting, and they've got a lot of room to grow and probably get a lot better. Yeah, they're doing a pretty good job with that.
All right, Josh, any other shout outs you want to give? And one thing I want to ask you in particular about is about the strategy call to take fuel only. When we saw Scott Crump and Chad Frankenfield use their last set, and then they ended up obviously both getting caught up in wrecks and being out of tires, not able to come get them. What led to
Yeah,
you being able to save a set and obviously seeing that the cautions were coming? I mean, we kept thinking that there was going to be a green run, but it just never came.
yeah. Just based off how the race was going before that, we were getting cautions already, and the later we get in these races, the chance that it goes green is probably much lesser of an opportunity. So I pretty much knew we were going to get some more caution. So try and keep the best track position possible, and then pit, and it worked out.
Well, all righty, Josh. We'll see you next week. Good luck in Charlotte next week.
All right, thank you.
All right, we're joined by our second place finisher, almost first place. Garrison, take us through your night, everything that led to you having a shot to win. And it looked like, Tate missed turn 3 there at the end, and then you drove into the wall, tried to get to his bumper, and couldn't quite do it.
Yeah. So first off, like, I don't know, starting at the back of these races is just something I should probably consider not doing again. Just depends, I guess, on the track. But Indy's a wide enough track, so I guess it wasn't as bad as what it's being made out to be. But the race just kind of played out how I thought from the beginning. Caution after caution after caution. Inopportune times like 16, 17 laps into a run, maybe sometimes a little less than that. And, you know, going in with 3 tire sets in the pits, you just know that you have to stay out sometimes. And take a guess as to when you're going to get the next caution. And I thought I played it right. I was kind of helping out other people in the channel too, because we're all there to, race and have fun, but help each other. But Tate made a split call at the end with me. I was trying to convince him to do otherwise, but he did the opposite and even said then one of us would win. So it came down to it at the end. I got through the traffic, avoided that wreck, and yeah, at the end I had the shot and I didn't want to hit him. Like I'm not going to wreck anybody for a win. So I'm just here to have fun and go and win races, but I want to do it the right way.
So you mentioned the tire sets there, and we started with 3 sets of tires. You think Indianapolis is a place you're gonna run green and see a bunch of different strategy that way? Go a little bit deeper into explaining the strategy for having a plan for all these different cautions with only 3 sets of tires, and what goes into staying out on some cautions and pitting on the other cautions, and exactly how to leapfrog those guys.
Yeah, so first it starts with knowing things from years of being on hot racing. I do a lot of racing here when they were here at this track during the weeks that Indy was on the schedule. Um, it would be a lot of cautions that would come out during B fix. So just knowing how the setup was, especially like the last 2 years in fixed, and it's the same exact thing. It drives really hard off the right rear here on the exit of the corners, and it's really tight through the center. So you have to understand that after a few laps, maybe like 7 laps or so, your tire advantage is just gonna grow exponentially. So you're gonna try to do what you can to see if you can take advantage of those couple of cautions, maybe like the second to fifth caution in the race if you have that many. But kind of from the second caution on, that's when you kind of want to plan for it, just to stay out once and kind of get that tire set advantage. And then at the end, you want to make sure you have at least 1 set left, maybe with like 20 to go. That's from my experience. But sometimes it doesn't work out that way. Sometimes it's green flag racing. I just kind of played it by ear a little bit, and starting from the back I could kind of see what was going on, so I just knew from the beginning of the race that it would be quite a few cautions with inopportune cautions coming in the middle of the race.
Well, all right, Garrison, talking to you with another good finish yet again. Anybody you want to give a shout out to and give thanks to?
Yeah, sponsor, of course, 213 Somewhere. Always go to their website, 213somewhere.com. And you want to cop everyone's merch. You have a bunch of us drivers. He has a lot of people coming on board and he's doing some special things. Can't wait for, later on the year when we have some things planned that he's going to probably bring out later on to happen. So that's going to be fun. Of course, Pro Edge guys that I'm in the channel with in Discord, all of my friends, they were great teammates, even when I wasn't as fast as them in the race at some point, being on older tires, we were helping each other out and giving each other tips. So thanks to Chad for putting on the league, Ethan and William for, adminning and everything, and you guys for putting on the broadcast.
Well, all right, Garrison. Good luck in Charlotte next week's full distance. So if you start from the back next week, you'll have plenty of time, to get up there and lead some laps. But come back and see us, man, and good luck.
Definitely will. Charlotte's one of my favorites. So I'll see y'all.
Well, we would love to talk to the winner, but Tate Lytle did not show up here in the waiting room in the Discord, so it does not appear we'll be getting a winner interview. So we'll go ahead and wrap this thing up. It was a great race at times tonight. Lots of yellows. Did not expect to see all those yellows at a place like Indy, but nonetheless, we got to see a great finish there. Good green white checkered. Lots of different strategies. People running out of tires. Want to give a shout out to all our sponsors, the Mrs. Goodies Grand National Series, everybody at C2 Freight, everybody at Mrs. Goodies, Powerhouse Recycling, and Blue Egg Marketing, everybody at the Elite Racing Network, Ryan Gavel, Nick Massey, Jacob Adams, and Chad Frankenfield for running this deal. We've got league races every night of the week. Some nights, typically a Sunday night, we'll have 2 back to back. So if you want to get into some league racing, Elite's the way to go. Check them out on Twitter. What are your guys' final thoughts about what we've seen tonight and looking ahead to Charlotte?
Well, it turned out how we expected it to with strategy, and Indianapolis always does. But is kind of in the way we didn't expect it, with a bunch of cautions in the middle, but we still saw a lot of tire strategy play out, and there were a couple of different ways to go about the tires with the top three guys that finished there. So they put on an exciting show. So one more thing, since we didn't get Tate Lytle, shout out to Days Gone By Vintage Apparel. They've got a lot of really cool vintage NASCAR apparel on there, so definitely check that out.
Yeah, it was really interesting to see all the strategy tonight. You know, I'm kind of glad we had the limited tire sets and a bunch of yellows to throw a wrench in everybody's plans. Is pretty exciting, great finish, probably the best one we've seen all season. Looking forward to the next upcoming races here.
Well, all right, that'll wrap it up for us. Come back and see us next week. Again, me and Nick will not be there next week as we are going away for a few days there, and don't know who you're going to have, but I'm sure it'll be a great broadcast. Ryan Gav will probably be back producing next week, so the broadcast won't miss a beat. So come back, check them out next week, and check out Elite, and come join a league to race with us.